Hi everyone, Greeno here, and welcome to another video here on my Greeno Eats channel. Now, as you can see, I am outside my local Morrisons once again. I came down here recently and had their ultimate breakfast, which I thought was really good value for money, coming in at £7. The sausages, yeah, they were good. Now, today is a Sunday when I'm filming this. I am British, and we know what that means. I want a roast dinner, and I've heard in this Morrisons here you can get a roast dinner for £7.50. So that sounds cheap to me. We're going to get inside and see how it is. Okay, so I've been up and ordered, and I've gone for the roast beef dinner. Now that is roast beef served with roast potatoes, Yorkshire pudding, seasonal vegetables, cauliflower cheese, mashed potato, peas, stuffing and gravy. That's a pretty extensive list, isn't it? Now, I'm not necessarily expecting the roast beef to be the highest quality. You know, I doubt they're out there cooking up a nice rib of beef for me. But as long as everything else is okay, the beef should be fine, I reckon. They also do a roast chicken dinner option, which is half a chicken on the bone, again served with everything else there. They both come in at £7.50, which I think is really good value, isn't it? There is also a vegan and vegetarian option available. A pumpkin, mushroom and cranberry roast, and that's served with basically all of the other bits and bobs I've mentioned, but tailored a little bit depending on whether you're vegetarian or vegan. Again, £7.50 for both of those. Not bad at all. One thing I really like about Morrisons though, is that kids eat for free. So all you have to do is order one adult main meal and you get a kid's main meal for free. So, in theory, a family of 4 could come down here, order 2 adult roasts and 2 kids roasts and just pay £15. Obviously drinks or anything else are on top of that, but I mean that's a pretty good deal, isn't it? Feeding a family of 4 for £15 in this day and age? You can't go wrong, can you? They do also have an option on here to add a dessert for £3. I don't know what the desserts are. I think I saw there was a crumble or something, but I don't think I'm going to go for that today. We're just going to have the roast beef dinner and see how that is. Really interested to see how it comes out. Okay, so as expected, the beef is pretty much just a sort of catering pack of beef, but like I say, I expected that to be the case. We've got some roasted carrots and parsnips here, which don't look too bad at all. A little pile of mashed potato, a diddy little stuffing ball, and 3 roast potatoes. They look like the sort of Aunt Bessie's type mind, pre-prepared ones. You spin this round, we've got a nice portion of peas there, nice and green. A good sized Yorkshire pudding, which looks really, really tasty. And some cauliflower cheese there. So I think overall, for £7.50, that's pretty good. Oh, and let's not forget, over here, separately, a nice pot of gravy. Okay, so I've put some salt and pepper on now, season the dish. It comes in little paper sachets here. Let's give everything a try. So let's start with the carrots, shall we? So as I said, these are roasted. You might be able to see a little bit there. There's some charring on the outside of it a little bit. Not too much, but that's not bad. Nice and sweet. Pretty well cooked. Try another piece. That one had the gravy on. It's really quite a nice meaty gravy. I'm impressed, actually. Let's get a bit of this parsnip. Now, I'm not the biggest lover of parsnip in the world. These are just some little scrappy bits here. Just want to taste the charring on the outside from that. Yeah. I personally find parsnip a little bit sweet to my taste generally. So it's not something I would normally have on a roast dinner. But obviously everywhere you go out, it's an integral part of it, isn't it? So here we have got, you can see the charring and everything on the outside of that where it's been roasted. And the flavour's not bad, actually. The sweetness is kind of counteracted by a little bit of bitterness that you get from that charring on the outside. And that's okay. Right, let's move on to the cauliflower cheese. Now, I'm a fan of a cheesy element on a roast dinner. When I'm making roasts at home, almost always make like a cheesy leek dish. I know our friends down at Toby Carvery have started doing macaroni cheese, which I think is a bit weird, pasta on a roast dinner, but as you can see here from the cauliflower cheese, it's a nice kind of creamy consistency to the sauce there. Clings to it pretty well on the outside. Not overwhelmingly cheesy, but definitely a pronounced kind of flavour. Again, cauliflower, not my favourite vegetable in the world. Normally I only have it in a curry or something, but this is okay. It's that cheesy bit to it, and then a little bit of meaty gravy on top. That's pretty good. Okay. Peas. Now, peas are peas really, aren't they? Cuttings. Quite nicely cooked. So I can do this without them falling off everywhere. Possibly a little overdone compared to how I would do them at home. I literally just bring them to the boil and that's pretty much it. Let's see how they mix in with that cheesy sauce. Was it on the fast show? Cheesy peas. So we've got some cheesy peas here now. That's all right, actually. Right, now let's try these roast potatoes. As you can see here, very kind of even colour to them on the outside. I think they are ones that are kind of pre-prepared and then just roasted a little bit. They almost have like a coating on the outside, don't they? That sort of Aunt Bessie's type of potato. Take a look at the inside there. It's steaming hot though, and it looks nice and fluffy, doesn't it? Let's get a little bit of gravy on there. Get that down the hatch. That's not bad. I always think with these type of roast potatoes, the ones that have kind of been manufactured somewhere, they taste a lot just like a big chip, which I suppose is what they are. But you know, when you get those sort of chunky steakhouse chips in the freezer section, it's kind of like a big one of them. And that's not a bad thing, is it? Right. Now this is something that I don't have often enough on a roast dinner at home, I don't think. Mashed potato. Doubling up on me on me carbs. Now to me, that doesn't taste like it's made out of real potatoes. It's kind of got that smash flavour to it. Remember Smash, the instant mash thing? It just tastes a little bit like that. It's not unpleasant. It's just not what I would expect of mash. It's okay. Right, what haven't we tried yet? We've got the beef here. We've got, the little stuffing ball. And I mean little. I mean, it's almost bite-sized. There you see. Perfectly spherical. Obviously not handmade. Let's take a look inside it. So this is going to be a sage and onion stuffing, obviously. There we go. It's got a good aroma to it. Quite a nice, strong, sagey smell. It's okay. It's almost got a bit of a chewy consistency to it, which is slightly strange. To my mind, stuffing should be kind of crumbly. I guess this has obviously, again, been manufactured and really tightly, compactly made. So it's kind of lost that crumbly consistency. But the flavour's okay. Flavour's good. Onto the beef now. See if I can pick a whole piece of this up and give you a close look at it. Now, as you can see here, this is kind of like the beef you buy in packets and put in your sandwiches. Obviously not sliced from a joint. But let's see how the flavour is. It's okay. Not a hugely pronounced beefy flavour. Almost a little bland, really. But like I said, I wasn't expecting a big beef rib being cooked out in the kitchen there. It just kind of is what it is. I think probably having the roast chicken would be a better option. But, you know, being a Sunday roast, I wanted to try the beef. But I think next time I'd probably go for the chicken. We haven't tried the Yorkshire pudding yet. It's a fairly big one, as you can see here. Nice and crispy. I haven't got the sharpest cutlery here, so we'll have to see how we go with that. But the bottom of it seems to be nice and soft as well. I like that contrast on a Yorkshire pudding where you've got crispy outsides, but the middle is still a little bit kind of soft and doughy. There we go, take a closer look at that. Not bad. It's certainly crispy. It's got a good flavour too. I do like that. Again, I'm assuming it's a pre-made one. They're not making Yorkshire puddings out in the kitchen there. It's just one that gets brought in, maybe even just in the little sort of batter form, and it just gets reheated and puffs up. But I have to say, the flavour of that and the texture is really rather nice. Right, I'm going to tuck into this now. We'll come back and talk about it some more at the end. Okay, so I've finished my lunch now. Bit of a mixed bag as far as I'm concerned, but let's get outside and we'll give it a proper review. So I'm outside now, back in the sunshine. This is what it's all about, isn't it? Now, what do I think about that roast dinner? It kind of felt a little bit school dinnersy to me. I think there were enough things there that were a kind of a disappointment to take a shine off the whole thing being pretty good value. The beef wasn't great quality at all. It was quite bland. Obviously, it was just you know, like the normal sandwich kind of sliced beef you get out of packets. I think I would have been better off having the half a chicken. So that wasn't great. The stuffing was a disappointment. The mash was like instant mash. They were a letdown, to be honest. On the positive side of things, the Yorkshire pudding was really good. The roast potatoes, even though they were clearly sort of Aunt Bessie's type ones, were cooked nicely and were really tasty. And the veg wasn't too bad. The carrots and the parsnips had been roasted, which is always a nice touch, gives a bit more flavour. The peas were okay. The cauliflower cheese was decent enough. Could have done with like bacon in the oven maybe to get that kind of nice crispy coating on the top of it. That nice sort of brown charring, again, gives it a little bit more flavour. And the gravy was decent, you know, nothing spectacular, but not bad at all. I mean, overall, it's probably a 5 or a 6 out of 10. It's not awful, it's not brilliant. I think for the money, it's pretty good value. Would I come back again for it? Not the beef dinner. Maybe the chicken one. Maybe we'll give that a try sometime. But yeah, for me, just a bit too much like school dinners. Well then folks, well if you've enjoyed this little look at Morrison's, don't forget to click a thumbs up on there for me. It does help with the channel. And if you're new around here and you like what you've seen, then click that subscribe button and ding your little bell for notifications, and that way you won't miss anything that comes up on the channel. Now I'm going to come back here again in a couple of weeks' time probably. I've still got to try their ultimate fish and chips, which I think will probably be an improvement on this roast dinner. Hopefully something closer to what that breakfast was. Anyway, that's it from me for now. I'll catch you on the next one.